Hello everyone, this is part 4 of What If Naruto Was a Hitman, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Konoha main gates. Was it wise sending 1 and 2 back? Temari asked, standing next to Tsunade while 9 stood behind them, the wrapped body of the Uchiha slung over his shoulder. I want them there in case the S hits the fan and we have to bug out. Tsunade muttered. Keep your beacon active, we might need to use an emergency teleport. 9 snorted. His free hand was near one of his Colts. You should go back and check on the girl Bar-chan. Temari and I can get the payday. Tsunade shook her head. You aren't diplomatic enough and would shoot them, and Temari would go along with whatever you wanted to do. Both shrugged. 9 has his hood and mask in place. I can't argue that. I'd shoot Danzo instead of getting the paycheck. But then, to me that's worth more than any bounty. Tsunade sighed. They were getting the smaller amount as the Uchiha was S. She was glad she had it inserted in the contract. Otherwise, if she knew the old farts here, and she did, they would try and wiggle out of paying him anything. Just get us out of here quickly, Bar-chan. Naruto said, adjusting the S-weight of the Uchiha corpse. Temari had her shotgun cradled and looked at the other blonde. If you're good, you can take me for a strawberry sundae when we get back. She said, tossing her hair over her shoulder. Generous of you. 9 said flatly. I know, but it's either I go out with you, or some of the trolls that think they're men. I know you at least will act somewhat of a gentleman. Tsunade snorted. I thought you said he was your brother. The older blonde muttered as they passed the gate guards. Temari smirked. I know, but I heard incest was the next big thing. Tsunade gave her a look while the blonde bodyguard smirked and 9 actually chuckled. Let's get this over with. Tsunade said, cursing the day she agreed to be surrounded by so many young adults with warped senses of humor. XX. Have a seat, Sakura said from her desk. Lord Danzo will be with you in a bit, he's in a meeting with several of his advisors. 9 sat, dropping the tarp-wrapped body to the floor with a thud. So, Tem-chan, he began next to the other blonde. You still make those cute sounds while eating those sundaes. The girl blushed and looked away. Behave. I am. 9 said, but Temari and Tsunade could hear the laughter in his voice as he decided to annoy the woman next to him. Now truthfully, 9 said, is it that I take you to the best places for those ice cream delights, or is it you have a thing for slightly younger men? Temari huffed and crossed her arms. 9. Behave or I'll have you pulling kitchen and laundry duty for a month. Tsunade said. Fine. The masked hitman muttered. Wish Q was here. He muttered, missing his fox who had gone back with the others after the destruction of Otogakure. Quit whining. Temari said, leaning against him. Temari might have called him and Yugito siblings, but there were times she needed a date, and more, and would take one or the other. Tsunade finding her bodyguard in a compromising position with the Jinchuriki of the two-tail had been an interesting morning. Same could be said the time she caught Temari with Naruto in the back of the car that she was going to use for a meeting. The yelling had shown everyone that lived under the roof of 12 Tails that Tsunade could literally raise the roof with just her yelling. The door to the Hokage's office opened. The Hokage will see you now, Sakura said. 9 snorted. No one had come out, meaning they had something set up in the office. He shouldered the body of the Uchiha, ignoring the pink-haired girl's look. He drew one of his Colts while Temari went in first with her shotgun in her arms, Tsunade last. Danzo was behind the desk and her sensei's former teammates were on either side of him like matching bookends. That was rather quick, Danzo said as Tsunade took her seat. You have news. Mission complete, Tsunade said and mentally smirked at the looks on all 3 faces. She pretended to study her fingernails. I regretfully report that Sasuke Uchiha was compromised and had to be eliminated. We've brought his body, along with the head of Orochimaru. 9 dropped the sack with the head on the desk and then dropped the body to the side at advisor's feet and smirked behind his mask as they all jumped. But, Koharu said looking at the body while Danzo's eyes were on the head in the middle of his desk. I must also report that Hinata Hyuga was S and her eyes had been removed by Orochimaru long before we arrived. As we couldn't retrieve the eyes as they'd been destroyed by Orochimaru during an experiment, we waived the fee for that part of the mission. Tsunade said in a bored tone. You killed the Uchiha. Koharu said finally. Yes. He fought alongside Orochimaru and had no intention of returning to Konoha. Tsunade said. What were his final words? She asked, looking at Nine. He would only return to Konoha as its conqueror. Nine said, the lie rolling off his tongue. Danzo looked displeased with the news. Now, about the balance due. Tsunade said. Not quite yet. We need to discuss the injury of our ninja at your employee's hands. Tsunade sighed. You mean that one-eyed person who Nine shot? Kakashi Hatake is a respected jonin of Konoha, and his knee was destroyed beyond repair. Homaru snarled. Nine shrugged. Not my fault your medical staff is incompetent. Behave. Tsunade said to him. Elders, we told you at the start we work alone and you ignored us. We took steps to keep them out of the way. You had agreed on our terms, and tried to alter them. I really hope you don't try to alter them further. The three jumped as the click sound came from Naruto, who chambered a round in his gun and waited. We did the job, you pay for the job, he said when it looked like they were going to argue further. Danzo pushed the button on his desk. Sakura, have a pair of Chunin retriever voucher from. No Hokage. Tsunade said. Cash. Danzo hesitated. Sakura, send 4 Chunin to the bank and have them withdraw the amount we talked about. Right away, Lord Hokage. The girl's voice came over the speaker. He clicked it off. We can't pay them. Koharu said. They killed the Uchiha. Danzo watched as the hitman's hand came out from the depths of his long coat, gun in hand. We are paying them. They did the job they were hired for. If we don't honor the contract, it will spread around and we will lose our own clients. Tsunade made a hand motion and Nine holstered his gun. I'm glad you chose to honor our deal, Lord Hokage. I'd hate to see Konoha share Otogaku's fate. Danzo knew he was going to be sending his Anbu out to investigate, but he needed to get these people out of his office. They were too dangerous. Yes, now, I have another. Sorry, but no, Tsunade said, standing. We're finished here, she said as the Chunin carried in 2 metal cases. Temari took them and opened them. She checked a couple stacks and nodded. Pleasure doing business with you, but don't call us again. Tsunade, that is no way. I have no ties to this village that keeps taking and taking. My family must be rolling in the graves at how corrupt this village has become. They looked at her. Temari, Naruto, let's go. She turned and heard the gasp. Naruto. Tsunade cursed her temper and saw the masked blonde's shoulders sag. Naruto Uzumaki. Danzo said, getting to his feet. Thanks a bunch, Bar-chan. Naruto said. Detain him. Danzo ordered the Chunin. Naruto, however, was faster and his Colts came up, the shots catching each man in the chest, dropping him where he stood. Get the hell out of here. Naruto yelled to Temari, who handed the cases to Tsunade and pushed the older woman out the door. Stand where you are, Uzumaki. Danzo ordered. F you crow bait. Naruto said and fired a shot, catching the Hokage in the shoulder, and Naruto leapt out the window. I hate this thing town. He thought, landing on the ground, leaving a crater. He turned to see Temari and Tsunade exiting the tower, tapping his communicator. Sei-chan, emergency extraction, slide by 3. Copy that 9. Sei's voice came over his earpiece. Naruto followed the 2 women, and as the alarm went off with cries of, stop them, coming from the tower, Naruto didn't hesitate and shot anyone that stepped their way. I need you in a less populated area. There are too many signatures to lock onto to get Tsunade-senpai and Temari-chan. Sei's voice came over the communicator. Copy. 9 said and cursed as ninja were running along the rooftops. Bar-chan, Tem-chan, break left. He ordered, and as they went left, he went right and side as the ninja followed him. Sei, Bar-chan and Temari are in the clear, get 'em out. He said. What about you? I'll call when I need a lift. 9 said, turning off his communicator. He dove through a window, shattering the area with glass. He rolled to his feet and shot the first ninja that came in after him. Realizing he was in a clothing store, he rushed through it, ignoring the screams of civilians as he burst through the dressing rooms, ignoring the shriek from a blonde in her underwear, and then into a hall he shot at the wall, pulverizing it with a dozen shots. He slammed his shoulder into it and found himself in an alley. He coughed as plaster rained around him. He kicked up to his feet and kept running. The commotion behind him told him the ninja hadn't given up the chase, and he turned, seeing more ninja dropping into the alley. Idiots. 9 muttered, shooting him as he approached, and leapt over their boss before they hit the ground. I knew coming back to Konoha would be a mistake. He muttered as he turned several more times and leapt over a fence without effort. The ninja was still giving pursuit, and 9 saw the massive gates shutting. So much for leaving via the door. Knew I should have shot Danzo in the head. He muttered as he spun and rushed over the river and by where Ichiraku's used to be. 9 raced up the stairs and took the left, past the Hokage's tower. He could see the red building of the academy and sighed. No, won't put children in danger. He thought as he ran along the wall, making a hard left and into the alley of fences. He could hear the ninja behind him. Leaping a fence, he holstered a Colt and tapped the communicator. Say, get me the F out of here. Copy. Bodder slide by 1. Naruto smirked at the ninja as they cleared the fence. He mocked them by giving them the finger. Damn. 1 said. Another grinned. You know, I missed these chases. Shut up, Izumo. A rat-masked Anbu said. Not even a ninja and 30 ninja can't catch him. Kotetsu said, sharing a grin with his friend. Danzo's rants about Uzumaki had allowed the ninja to know who they were chasing, and most of them were very glad that they failed to catch him. Reminds me of the days when he was a short little s. Izumo said. Now he's big, bad and has a serious hate for our Hokage. Kotetsu said as they started to disperse. Yugao sighed and flipped her purple hair aside. Bets. Kotetsu smirked. How long before Naruto returns and KS Danzo and the Council of Fools? Put me down for 9 months. The purple-haired Jonin said. She'd quit Anbu after her lover Hayate SD before the invasion, and the council railroaded Naruto into prison. Only recently been forced back to active duty by same council. Other dates and amounts were tossed out. It seemed that the ninja of Konoha hated the current Hokage and the council. 12 tails. 9 stepped off the teleport pad and sighed. That was too damn close. He muttered, pulling his hood down and mask off. He was staggered by a missile that hugged him and realized it was Sei. Don't you ever cut it that close again. The tech said in a scolding, worried manner, even as she hugged 9 as tight as she could. I'm fine, he said. Looking around, he realized they were alone. Where is everyone? With the girl you guys sent back. Sei said. Shizune says she's messed up big time. They not only took her eyes. What? 9 asked. It seems like her DNA had been messed with. Naruto looked at her. It looks like they coated parts of her skeleton as well. 9 swore and headed for the lift. I'll be in medlab, he said before the doors closed. Medlab. 9 found Gaara and Yugito standing outside the operating room, looking down as Temari, Tsunade and Shizune worked one the Hyuga girl they rescued. Status, he said. Yugito sighed and leaned against Gaara. The snake man really fed her up big time, brother, she said. Her eyes were SS as she looked into the operating theater below. I think I cared him far too quickly, 9 said as he saw the 3 women moving around. Tsunade, the master she was in the field of medicine, was doing all she could. She bears scars years old. Gaara said. I might be going back to Konoha after all, 9 said. How'd that go? Gaara asked. 9 explained it all, even Tsunade's slip. Yugito, you know they will be dumb enough to come after us here. The holder of the 2 tails power said. It will take them time. After Bar-chan is done down there, we'll figure things out. But I can bet we'll be going back. Enough S-boss will convince them to leave us alone. Yugito looked at 9's whisker-marked cheeks. You let the Hokage live, she accused. I did, 9 agreed. Foolish. You should have cared him and it would have ended with him. Yugito said. A rumble in her tea told the other 2 she wasn't pleased. Or it could escalate. Some of our jobs come from the elemental nations. We ruin that and we'll lose a field of revenue, 9 said. A living enemy causes more trouble than AS1. Gaara said. 9 sighed. We'll talk about it later. He turned his eyes on the room below. Sei said they did more on her than remove her eyes. They bonded vibranium to the bones in her arms, legs and hands. Where the hell did they get that from? 9 pondered aloud. I thought it was restricted material. It is, Gaara said. I tried to get some for that job in Germany. 9 sighed as he sank into his seat. his view of the room below letting him know what was happening. Bar-chan trying to remove it. He asked. No, she's forced to stimulate healing as well as she had to inject those nanobots that say replicated that copies our healing abilities. Gaara said. Without it, she'd a couple hours after being removed from the stasis tube. Yugito said. Yugito-chan, why don't you go order dinner? 9 said. He looked at Gaara and motioned him to stay. What do you wish to do? Sleep. 9 said with a sigh. I want to forget Konoha. Do so. I'll wake you for dinner, or if anything happens below. Gaara said to the blonde. 9 stretched out and used his jacket as a pillow, the Colts he hung off the arm of a nearby chair. Gaara watched his brother sleep and he knew that 9 was already plotting how to deal with Konoha. XX. Yugito sat at the desk while she waited for the pizza delivery boy. She looked at the cases that had been left and knew the job had been paid for, but she didn't like how the Konoha client seemed to try and capture 9 after the mission was done and they learned his real name. Mariao. Nibby landed on the desk. You think it's a mistake to leave them after our brother as well? Yugito asked. Yes. Came the telepathic link she had with the Nibby. Unlike Shukaku and Kyubi, Nibby couldn't talk, but could communicate with telepathy. 9 will handle it. He always does, Yugito said. The cat gave her a look, but she didn't send any thoughts. The door opened and a woman walked in. Not the pizza boy, Yugito thought. Shaking her head she looked at the woman. Welcome to 12 Tails Agency. She said, remembering the greeting that Shizune would use. How may I help you? The woman looked nervous. I, Yugito mentally groaned. Take your time, she said. I need to hire a bodyguard. The woman said, removing her glasses. Her left eye was swollen shut and her right one was black and blue and turning more shades. Why don't you tell me who did this and what exactly you are looking for? Yugito said, wishing Shizune was here as she never really understood this part of the job. XX. Medlab. Soon it came out. Naruto, thank the gods you're alright. She said, seeing the blonde sitting up wiping the sleep from his eyes. How's the girl? He asked. Sunad sighed. Not good. If she had, she looked at 9. What? The blonde asked. If she had a biju, she might make it, but. 9 looked down and felt something. Q. He called out. The fox had been sleeping under the seat. What? The two held a silent conversation and Sunad looked on as Shukaku and Nibby came in as well. Very well. It's time anyway, the fox said and the other two creatures nodded. What? Sunad asked. Gaara came in and looked at Shukaku. Are you certain? The raccoon nodded. Nibby padded from the room, she had to talk to her container. Someone explain it to me. Use small words if you have to. Sunad said as Temari and Shizune joined her. 9 sighed. The biju have agreed to merge the last of the power they contain into the girl. It will make her like us. The downside is that they will vanish. Sunad looked at the fox. Why? We're tired. We care for our containers, and the time we've had is more than we thought possible. Q hopped onto 9's shoulder. You'll need your crystal. I'll have 9 perform the transfer. Nibby came back. Gaara looked at her and nodded. Nei-chan, you might want to get to the office. Yugito has a client there, and she's stalling. Shizune looked at Sunad. Go. Shizune removed her scrubs and hurried to the office. Are you all certain? Sunad asked. She wasn't 100% certain what would happen, but she knew that if they did nothing, the girl in the operating room wouldn't see the end of the week. The 3 biju nodded. Sunad sighed. XX. Konoha. Hire whomever you have to, but I want them back here. Danzo said as the medic wrapped his shoulder after extracting the bullet. That's the thing, Lord Danzo, they did the job none of our ninja could. Now you want us to send a team after them, Koharu said. Hire bounty hunters. Danzo said. I want that demon back here. He can be our weapon and we will rule the elemental countries. This is a mistake. We should forget the demon container. Homura said. We need to prepare. Reports say that Hanzo was disposed and his successor has turned his eyes towards Konoha. That is why we need the demon, more than ever. Danzo said, wincing as the medic tied the sling tight. Hire bounty hunters. X. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.